Scrap, Students Composting to Rejuvenate Agriculture in Providence, is Brown University's student composting initiative. Its goal is to make Brown a campus that generates zero food waste, instead creating compost to revive agriculture on campus and in the Providence community. In fact, many students aren't entirely sure how composting works. So let's follow Dan's apple during its journey through the composting cycle. Here on campus, food waste can make its way to either of two 3-bin compost systems, the one at West House on the corner of Brown and Meeting Streets, or the one on the corner of Hope and Charlesfield Streets. This will be where Dan's apple begins its journey from food waste to nutrient-rich compost. Brown's compost systems were built by friendly farmer Dan back in 2011. Once Dan's apple finds its way to the student garden, it's already been undergoing anaerobic decomposition without oxygen, in a food waste bin before it makes it to the first of 3 compost bins. Here, it gets mixed in with other green and brown materials. Greens are fresher, wetter waste matter, like Dan's apple, grass clippings, or weeds, while browns are drier matter, like brown paper bags, dried leaves, or cardboard. In the words of Farmer Dan, you can never have too many leaves. For managing the 3-bin compost system, Farmer Dan likes to offer a layered cake analogy. The key to making good compost is to start with good compost, which contains the bacteria necessary for decomposition. Next, when adding food waste, it is important to add browns, like leaves, to balance out the moisture in the compost pile. Nitrogen is also important for decomposition and can be found in greens, coffee grounds, eggshells, and any animal matter, like dried blood or feathers. Between layers of our compost cake, it is important to turn and stab the compost. Turning and stabbing allow more oxygen to enter the compost pile, meaning faster decomposition. More surface area can also speed up the decomposition process, so it can be a good idea to break up food waste, cut up large green matter, or shred brown matter, like paper bags and leaves, before adding them to the compost pile. You might be surprised to learn that this compost cake bakes itself. Once decomposition gets well underway, compost piles can get pretty hot, ideally between 135 and 160 degrees. You can think of it as one big decomposition party. When you pack lots of people into one room for a huge party, things can get pretty hot, crowded, and sweaty. The same goes for composting. With lots of bacteria breaking down organic matter in the same bin, the energy starts flowing, and the temperature really kicks up in the second bin, where organisms like earthworms, roly-polies, and centipedes enter the equation. Early next year, Dan's decomposed apple will be ready to head to the second bin, where it will undergo more intensive decomposition, with more heat and more bacteria and organisms, like those earthworms and roly-polies. By spring, the entirely decomposed apple can be sifted into the third bin, where it will be ready for spring plants and crops, or even for sale.